level 4 now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't forget to take more spells. I forgot that for the last 2 levels, so I just unlocked my 2 second level spells.
Yeah, I didn't realize Gale was trying to seduce me when he was like, I bet we could learn some magic. And I was like, I fucking love magic. Let's go.
Yeah.
So I zipped over there, and then I think I hit a bug or something because it offered me that cutscene every time I made camp. And everyone else was like, oh, no, I couldn't possibly date you. You're dating Gale. And I was like, no, I wanted to see magic one time and put him firmly in the friend zone. Karlak, please take me back.
Lizelle, so somebody else offered, I think it was Halsland offered me. He was like, hey, I know that you're with Lizelle, but if she's down, I'm down to just, all be together. And I went over to Lizelle. I'm like, Lizelle, what do you think? She's like, if you do that, I will cut off your arms and bury you. And I'm like, oh. Well,
so that's a no?
That's a no? And she's like, yes, that means no. There's a clarification question. It's like, I know you're into blood. Is that like a good thing? Is that like a... It's just...
Pineapple.
No, if you do anything with him, then I'll dump you. And then I went back to Halls and I'm like, she said no. And he's like, I understand. We will just be friends. And I'm like, okay.
Man, I also found a really cool instrument, the spider's lyre. It's an orange.
Yeah, that's a quest item.
But I don't know what to do with it yet.
Well, hold on to it, and maybe you'll find out.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I can use it to play. I can use it to play music, so that's what I've been doing. If I've just been sitting still, because you have like several perform actions. Your bard dance, the power is one of them that you can play.
You can play that even when it's not your turn in combat. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
You just set some ambiance, some battle music, or love music. It doesn't really matter.
I can get another cantrip?
Yeah, so I took Thunderclap.
Oh, did you?
As my additional cantrip because I realized that I didn't take it.
Could somebody do a little rolling for me? I just want to make sure I've got that element.
Yeah, I'm good at rolling. Where do you want me to roll?
In D&D Beyond.
Yeah, here mine doesn't lag out.
I also finally went into that first chapel you come across, like right near the.
Do you see that?
The crashed nautiloid.
Yep.
And I got it down into the bottom, and I knew that those things, the dead scribes or whatever, were gonna come to life. I just had a feeling, so I pulled all of their weapons off them and dropped them on the floor.
There it is.
And when I pressed the button, I was like, haha, what
an
are you gonna
11
do?
and then a 3.
Yeah. There we go. Okay, sweet. I am all set. Doug, how you coming along?
Oh, I'm just looking at all the new stuff I get.
The feats?
I took ASI.
Okay. I considered it up that charisma to 20, but...
Maybe our bard will be more effective now.
Oh no, my I'm actually more supportive. I'm good at being a bard, I'll tell you that. How many levels in Rogue did you take?
Rogue.
Yeah, you're a rogue.
I'm a fighter, and I will dual. What is it called? Dual class. Into
multi-class.
Multi-class into rogue. Once I hit level 5, I think that's the minimum.
Oh, you can multi-class whenever, as long as you have the requisite stats.
I have high enough dex. I have 18 dexterity.
I'll probably multi-class, but in a bad way.
I'm gonna multi-class into rogue just because I think it would be a good fit for my character with his changeling aspect.
Especially if you get assassin, that would be gross first turn.
Yeah, advantage on unseen, like on unaware. Yeah, with my piercing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, piercing is basically a small sneak attack in and of itself.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, hey, just to let you guys know where my head is at, I'm thinking that tonight will mainly be kind of setting up our next big direction in terms of where you want to take things, whether that be
we're gonna
to the
sprint back.
Feywild or
we're gonna sprint back
to the Goblins.
Yeah, now we're gonna go slaughter everyone. Now that you've planned for something else.
But yeah, so any which way we want to go, I've got a couple ideas, and enough that we can maybe kick off combat tonight, depending on which direction y'all go. But yeah, so tonight will probably not be a terribly long session, but just want to let y'all know up front kind of where my head was at there.
It's all good.
I think I'll go one wild magic sorcerer. Never tame it. Just let it be.
All right. Is everybody ready?
I think so.
Yeah.
Supposed to have 2 more prepared spells. I'm ready to go. I just need to click a couple buttons.
Word. Yeah, we can give you another minute too, if that's helpful.
Either way.
Well, sweet. Last time, also we need to come up with a campaign name at some point. So be thinking about that.
I'm spitting out ideas left and right. It's come up with some more though.
But yeah, last time you all finished capturing, interrogating, and executing 8 goblins. You got to meet Drag and On, a goblin dragon rider of sorts, riding a large fairy dragon. You walked with the fairy dragons out of their territory that butts up against the goblin territory and learned a little bit about them and the goblin groups, how they got here, a little bit of their shared interests. And you traveled several days back the way you came towards town. I believe there were a few other kind of bigger moments there, but I believe that covers the generalities of it. Anything I missed there?
I think that's the long and short of it, yeah.
Sweet. And with that, you all find yourselves walking down the trail. You are maybe half a day from camp, and the fairy dragons are about to leave you be to walk the rest of the way on your own.
All right. Well,
Is there anything you'd like to do with them before they take off?
I'd like to wave goodbye and say goodbye. See you later.
Yeah, as you're saying your goodbyes, Dragon On swoop down and go, all right, the next time you come back through these woods, you need to announce yourselves. You cannot kill any fairy dragons in our neck of the woods. We probably won't say hello unless you want us to, but yeah, you can come through our territory as you need. But we will be watching you.
Do we just yell? Do you have like a sending stone or anything? Can we call you? Been a
Oh,
weird...
we'll watch you.
Okay.
Yep. Don't you worry about that.
If you're watching us, why do we have to announce ourselves?
So we know you're not trying to pull one on us.
Oh, okay. Seems like you'd know either way, though, right? I mean,
It's more of a good faith, being neighborly thing.
okay.
It's like if we walked down your main street, you want to know we were coming first.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
And with that, Dragonon kind of turn about on their heel and march proudly away between several ferns and disappear from sight.
All right.
So, well, we're still in the woods, technically, right?
Yeah,
Mhm.
let's head back to town then.
Yeah. Yeah, we're just gonna make our way. Make my way down.
Yeah, and this close, you guys are well acquainted with the terrain. You catch a trail that you've walked dozens of times before, and you're an hour or two out of town when you see a group of rangers standing in the trail.
Do these look like rangers, or like does their garb look familiar?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, these are the Gotham Rangers.
Okay. Well met. How are you?
You see them wave and kind of hear hello, and kind of from behind a couple of them, you see Jordan is with them.
Cool.
They go, so, how's your goblin hunt? You're back sooner than expected.
Yes,
We found him.
Yeah, we found him.
we've got a bit of a problem. There's roughly what do you guys say? Maybe 200 goblins out there,
Yeah.
and they appear to have come out of the Feywild through some rifts. They were escaping a big bad Fey, along with some Fey dragons and potentially other Fey creatures. Don't know, but we know about the Fey dragons. So the goblins are likely not going to stop attacking our caravans. I mean, they outright think that the caravans belong to them. That much we found out. We killed about 8 of them, and we encountered those Fey dragons that escorted us out of there. I don't think they knew we had killed those goblins because they seem to be allied with them. So they don't understand that the goblins are really taking advantage of them. And they're creating enemies for the Fey dragons as well. Just, birds of a feather, or enemy. What do you call it? What's the phrase?
A scale of a
Enemy,
feather.
my enemy.
Oh,
It's
You're looking for
killed by
guilty-
association. Yeah. And so I think there's a problem in that we'll create some enemies killing those goblins and fighting those goblins, and we'll make enemies of those Fey dragons that don't necessarily have to be enemies. I don't know if a schism could be made between those two parties, but because the Fey dragons seem to be very amiable, they just hunt squirrels.
As you explain more and more of what you found, Jordan's eyes get wider and wider. Particularly when you mention 200 goblins and so many fairy dragons.
The 200 goblins may be an overestimation because the information we gathered was, from interrogating some goblins.
And Jordan's kind of quiet, speechless for a moment, and goes, well, that's a lot to deal with. I don't think we're going to solve it any faster out here. We'd better get back to town with a quickness than it sounds like.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they seem to be following a particular goblin, Shank.
Mm-hmm. Shiv.
Shivshank.
And there's some.
Shiv.
There's a shining lady That's the leader of the Fey people that imprisoned them.
Yeah, they escaped from. Now the Fey dragons are open to returning back to the Fey so long as we, eliminate every single major Fey big bad in the Feywild. Which, I mean, what are the odds of that?
Well, y'all have surprised me already, but that would be quite the lift, as we used to say back in my day.
Lots of lifting, very heavy. Yep.
But they also did not seem against helping us get rid of the goblins once they were back home safe.
Well, I know it's not uncommon to hear stories about the Fae in these parts, but that also is a more concrete story than most.
Well, we try and be thorough.
Well, we best get a move on and report what you all found back to the mayor and the rest of the town.
Yeah.
And he kind of starts hiking up the trail.
Yeah.
Just curious, from our standpoint, how many rangers? What does our force look like, military wise, in terms of this town? Militia, actuals, like soldiers, rangers, etc.
Yeah, so the Rangers are the most numerous by a fair bit, just because the biggest threat to the town is from the wilds around you, and so discouraging larger predators away from the town ends up saving quite a bit of time. You've got probably about a dozen guards across the town, with more that are in reserve. Maybe another dozen, 2 dozen if you really scrounge. Outside of that, the Rangers, what did we say? There were about 20 of them or so?
Yeah.
And let me just take a quick note here, since I'm giving you firm numbers, I want to make sure I'm consistent there. And then you've also got the druids and the clerics. Between them, there's about 20, but they are
Healers.
while they have magic, they are not a militant order.
Yeah, they're
by
not
any
a
stretch.
direct fighting force.
Mm-hmm. And then you have all kinds of other, craftsmen and, various magical folks who have wandered through over the years and gotten stuck, or just liked it and settled down. And then outside of the guards, the rangers, all the other folks. Let's see here. Sorry, trying to do napkin math. How big did we say Gotham has grown? Like 2,000?
Oh, I don't remember.
Oh, I don't think we talked about that directly.
We just know it had grown considerably in size.
I think we just talked about its industry and things like that, not its population exactly.
Let's say it's about 1,000 people total. And maybe it gets up to maybe 1,200 total.
So 1,200, and that's like the residents, right? Is that including again? We get people coming in and out for like the library and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so what?
12 guards on reflection seems a little small. So let's say 30 guards.
Okay, so I mean, roughly we have probably around 100 people fighting force wise, plus support and so in a direct confrontation it'd be pretty brutal 100 people versus 200, although we'd probably come out on top, not including any other unknown creatures. So
Mhm.
that gives us an estimate.
This trade
Yeah.
route that they're blocking, that they're intercepting, who is the trade with? Like, what is the city that the stuff is coming to or from? Or is it generally, because it's not blocking all of our trade, obviously.
Right.
Yeah.
So what
It's got to be that road that runs through. I'm assuming that one major road.
Yeah, like what's up there? Who are they
Off
intercepting?
to the west. It's off to the west, and from what I remember, there wasn't a major city for quite a ways out west.
Hmm.
Okay.
Yep. The road that goes kind of north and west is the Lonely Road. So I'm looking at notes from our first session.
Because we have the elves to the south, the
Mhm.
dwarves to the north, and then another human city to the east.
Then I'm going to ask Jordan. In terms of the elves, what kind of relationship do the elves have generally with the Fae?
Not a close one. Particularly these elves, they've lived on the material plane for long enough that there's not really a relationship there.
Okay.
They're not outright hostile, but just given how nasty the Fae can be, the elves would not welcome a Fae incursion.
The reason I ask is maybe it wouldn't be a bad idea to get more patrols on the road and maybe request some aid of the elves, because being in that forest combined with the Fae, uh, the illusions could become a problem, and elves being resistant to charm effects, you know, or no, that type of illusion would be maybe a little bit more beneficial to kind of negate that advantage that they have.
Mhm.
And while aid is requested, just kind of beef up. Maybe we patrol that stretch of road and help escort some of those caravans to and from our town and deal with the goblins as they attack until we can gain a better foot,
Yeah.
better footing.
I
Because
Yeah.
200 goblins is a lot.
Yeah. Well, and what I can tell you is just doing some quick mental math for all of you, having lived in this town for a long time. If just Gotham goes up against 200 goblins plus or minus, the town will probably survive, but it's going to be very bloody.
Yeah.
If you can get the elves and the dwarves to send a sizable force each, you'll have an outstanding time as wars go. The main like trade hub and such is southeast by about 2 to 4 weeks, depending on how fast you're traveling. 4 weeks if you're just kind of walking with a cart. 2 weeks if you're on horseback and really pushing it.
That's main trade. Okay, southeast. Southeast is Gotham, right?
Mm-hmm.
The opposite direction of where the goblin problem is. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, I mean, at that point, they'd be a little less likely to, render aid because it doesn't affect them as much.
Yeah,
how close are we with the elves?
That's what I was wondering, who else they're affecting, to try to figure out who has more writing on this.
Yeah, the elves and the dwarves are both fairly self-contained in terms of they don't have super expansive territory, but they also are very capable of defending their holdings. Sorry, I feel like I may have missed one of the questions that got asked there.
Oh, just to see whether,
Well,
who would benefit more from disposing of these goblins, right? Besides us.
Mhm.
Enemy of
Yeah.
my enemy is my friend, kind of.
Yeah, the elves would definitely be interested. Yeah, the elves do not like goblins, particularly goblins building a city next to their next to their largest partner in the region.
Well, maybe
And,
we could act as emissaries and go visit the elves.
Oh yeah, I love emissing.
That got me. Whoop. And sorry, I'm gonna take a screenshot here real quick and see.
I guess it'll come down to what the decision is made on what to do.
Yeah, I was just wondering.
But I think that might be our best bet, to be honest. And if we're not the emissaries, then I guess we'd guard caravans or something.
I would like to sidebar with my crew and not with Jordan.
Yeah.
Can
you even leave the library for an extended period of time? 2 to 4 weeks of travel is.
I would prefer not to.
So if somebody else goes, and if that ends up being the plan, then we can always gather resources by fighting these goblins on the road without disturbing the Fey Dragon, right?
Yeah, we don't. We may need to train some people to take care of the library. We're kind of the leadership leaving is even this long is kind of weird. But
yeah. And for what it's worth, while it would be a longer absence than you may be used to, it is something that they can figure out. Like, you have been doing, training, working with these folks for a long while.
Mm-hmm.
So that is eminently doable if you want to take some longer time away.
All right. So a little sidebar with the crew here. So how evil are these goblins? Are we thinking? Are you think they're pretty evil?
Well, they're pillaging caravans on the road and killing people.
Oh man, okay.
And they don't seem to care that these things don't belong to them. These people aren't just they're just taking these lives to take what they want. That will continue to happen, and they will continue to increase in numbers. And what happens when they reach our border?
And you don't think they can be negotiated with? I think that's unlikely.
We tried to talk to them, and they just didn't understand the fact that those caravans weren't theirs.
Okay, well,
that food and other stuff, shiny things, are just not theirs to take.
Well, in my years of kind of like watching the garden and stuff, I've heard and I've read texts. I've never dabbled in it, but we could always use poison. And the dragons, they don't eat any of the stuff that the goblins eat, so they'd be safe. We could always,
Oh, that's interesting. Poison a caravan.
Yeah, just put it out there.
Stuff.
They're not. I wouldn't imagine. Like, I don't know how they detect that, but just put it out there. It makes me sick, but to even mention this, but if we truly believe that these goblins are evil, then perhaps without getting
like disposing of pests,
even a sickness that then maybe they'd be more open to negotiation. Like, it doesn't even have to be a deathly poison, but I'm just worried that if we get the elves involved, the fairy dragons will then fight, and we won't be able to rescue the fairy dragons. So they will back up the goblins, I'm pretty sure. But the fairy dragons felt that they don't partake in any of the food that the goblins eat, right? But just putting that out there.
I think that is an excellent idea, but you know, any means necessary, and that seems like the easiest, least impact, like least damaging to us, to our town. Um,
Are
least
you
loss of life.
are you able to? Can you make poison?
I have not. I I've read books. I don't know how. I'm sure we could. Again, DM. I don't know how much I
If you
would
can't,
know.
I'm sure there's somebody who's an herbalist in the town.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I'm just saying that it's like adjacent, right? Like we have a library that says how to do it, and we have people that are specialists in this kind of research, and I'm sure that because between medicine and poison, they kind of can, like, you mess something up, like even minorly, you can make probably a pretty lethal poison. And so I'm just saying, like, I don't think it would be hard. Just concealing it may be the problem in a way
Right.
that won't.
It would have to be something they don't notice, but
Yeah.
is lethal enough to act quick.
And again, I haven't studied this. This isn't something that my character would study. It's just that something that I know about, that we could potentially do, knowing about medicine and food and stuff like that. Like even like rotting food or something. Like there's the reason that we have like the areas outside of camp where we throw away our corpses and our stuff. We have like the mulcher is to keep out these sicknesses, but it could get into the food supply very easily.
Yeah, I will say, unless you have proficiency with the poisoner kit, you would have to look elsewhere for expertise. That said, amongst 1,200-ish working professionals, I'm sure someone can help out.
But it's just
The only issue is also in the quantity, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
But we know that at least the leader would probably partake first, and then probably it trickles down, is what my understanding is.
Leaders, so at least we get their
but I don't
leadership.
Yep, but I don't know if they're checking for that, or how they check their food. That's also an unknown. But goblins, they've been living pretty easy, is what I'm understanding. But I'm just going to put that option if we because I do really care about those fairy dragons. I don't want them to die, and if we're looking to go to war and losing life, I don't want that. And I'm going to put out this. This is very bad, but it's an option. I'm putting on the table.
Well, we could, I guess first we have to go see if we can find like an apothecary that can even do this.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I was just
and then
yeah.
I mean, it's a pretty reasonable idea. We could load up a poisoned caravan and see what kind of damage we can do. And if it fails, we can still fall back to reaching out to our allies.
Yep. That's
I mean, 2 to 4 weeks, wouldn't it make sense to do both things? I mean, send an emissary to the elves, and in the meantime, we both guard caravans and find out what our best approach would be.
And for what it's worth, 2 to 4 weeks to like one of the major trading hubs, but it's only about a week's travel to the elves.
Okay, we got round trip and planning and right.
Plus, I mean, whatever aid we might get from them, it'll take time for them to gather, send them out, even if they agree. Yep. So I think two-pronged, going with this agreement, and hey, if we get reinforcement and the problem's dealt with, what's the loss? It'll take time, I'm sure, to gather enough ingredients to poison an entire set of food.
Well, even if their command is in disarray, like, just the hope would be that the fairy dragons lose faith, right, in their leadership in this treaty, but to try to destabilize what they got, because I do want the fairy dragons to live. They don't seem completely evil to me. They just seem like they're trying to just survive.
Yeah, I mean, they're tricksters. They don't cause harm. That's what it seems like.
All right. Do we know of an apothecary, or do we need to ask around to find one?
Yeah, no, you would definitely be able to find
The
one.
healer should be able to create a basic poison, right?
Well, I think we could attend a meeting with our
Yeah,
mayor and Jordan, and I think this is a great plan to
Yeah.
put in front of them and get them behind it.
Some sign off
that
would
way
be
we don't
great.
have to pay for it.
Yeah.
Oh, right, sign off.
and and for what it's worth, you guys are still hiking back to town. So all this was really just conversation amongst yourselves for some initial brainstorming, strategizing.
Yeah, who we're gonna talk to and coordinate with. So.
Mhm. And as you get closer to town, you can see the walls in the distance. Where are you headed first?
And before we do that, Jordan didn't seem to sense any fey dragons while we were chit chatting or anything like that. There's nobody around overhearing our stuff.
Now, if you cast Detect Good and Evil, they are revealable, and they are considered Fey.
That was one thing I was a little worried about.
Yeah, you'll also. I've been doing a little bit of reading while we're doing this, and 5E's edition of Changelings. You will reveal that I am a Fey if you cast it in front of other people, though.
I mean, everyone already knows it, right? Or is it just us?
Just you guys, and maybe our
Yeah,
pal Jordan.
don't have
I think
detect
Jordan
good and evil. I just have divine sense, which doesn't do that.
I don't know who asked if Jordan
Yeah,
heard any fairy dragon.
fast. Yeah, any eavesdroppers?
Not that he's noticed.
Okay.
Yeah,
But,
and
For,
sorry. Anything else y'all wanted to do before you get to town?
Yeah. For note's sake, what is the name of the blacksmith and the leader of the town?
Sam is blacksmith.
And the mayor's name is Isaac.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, nothing else.
Finding of Isaac.
Is Jordan? Was he suggesting that we go speak to the mayor like right when we get back, or?
When you ask him, he kind of shrugs and goes, "Well, you should definitely talk to him sooner than later, but I guess it doesn't have to be right away."
Well, I think we're gonna go talk to him right away.
Yeah, sounds good.
Even better. Yeah, you get back to town and beeline it for the mayor's office.
Mr. Mayor.
And this is a building you've been past a million times. It's right on one of the main squares in town. But yeah, you all wander right in and head up to his office, which the door is open, and you see him sitting behind his desk. Giant mustache, greased expertly. He goes, hello! You must have good news if you're back this soon.
Well,
Not the greatest news.
Oh,
I'm gonna nudge the bard forward.
yeah. Well, so we went out there and we found some goblins that we took care of as a party, as a group, in agreement. And we then found out some information that there's actually more goblins. But it's more than we can take care of, but we have a plan.
how many how many more goblins?
Well, a lot. I think it was 200.
And
200.
we're gonna explain how we came by the information that is the goblins saying how many patrols they had.
We did
right?
some math.
Based off of that math, I mean, it did come out to about 200. Is that right, Jake?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So it's actually
I mean, that doesn't
200
necessarily mean it's true, but
200, maybe even 250 goblins. But it's a lot more than just the 4 of us can take on in this excursion.
Yes, I can see where that might be difficult to handle all at one time.
Mm-hmm.
250 goblins.
Yes, but like I said, we have a plan. We have some logistics and planning and coordination to do. Then we'll write up or present something to you to deal with this problem. We may need a little bit of your backing to get rid of these goblins, but we're pretty confident that we can solve the issue.
Oh, fantastic! Yes, absolutely. Anything you need.
Cool. And when you say anything, like how much, what is our funding for this?
I believe you had offered to do it for 150 gold pieces.
Yes. So we did the excursion for 150 gold pieces, and we were able to source the information needed to now get a better estimate of said cost. But when I'm asking for funding, I'm talking like medicines and such.
Yeah, tell him your plan. Tell him your plan.
Yeah. Okay. We're looking at, it's a large quantity. We're looking to maybe ally with various people around, but potentially because they're intercepting these caravans and consuming what's in there, consuming the poison, put poison into the carts.
They're eating in especially the better foods.
Yeah.
Like the cheeses and the wines and things like that. That goes to their leadership is what we've discovered. Mm-hmm. So I think Zoo's come up with an excellent plan to, Trojan horse them, essentially.
Yes. And there's some other
Trojan.
Trojan is like a no chat, but like in reverse.
This must be one of your adventure inside jokes.
Yeah, it's like a statue of a horse.
It's like a gift.
Oh,
yeah, a gift.
But with a trap inside.
Oh, I could see how that might get someone.
Yeah.
I mean, if someone gave me a horse statue as a gift, I couldn't possibly say no.
Yes.
Yeah,
then that's good to know. Cool. Yeah, but that's the plan. So just be like funding maybe a little bit of research and development on this, and then also the quantities that we'll need to try to disrupt their
chain of command
organization. Yeah.
Eliminate their chain of command.
Mm-hmm. Well, here's the thing.
Yeah.
The 150 gold that you were supposed to get was to stop the goblins from attacking our wagons.
Yeah,
so if we have to sacrifice more wagons.
When's the next election?
Oh, not for 3 more years.
Okay. So we stopped the wagons both ways. We took out the bridge, so that's a temporary fix. Wagons right now will not be able to get even to where the goblins are ambushing them. So we did temporarily fix the problem.
Are there any guards in the room?
There's 2 outside the room, but nobody actively in here now.
I'm gonna do a little bit of intimidation and basically threaten them with, well, I guess you're just not concerned with the safety of the village, and I guess we just need to go to the townsfolk and ask for them to help. Since the mayor's not willing to help or deal with the situation and instead lowballs and potentially cheats people. I mean, I'm not saying that's your intent, but I mean, if that's the direction this goes, that'd be a really unfortunate look for you, wouldn't it?
Well, I never. I was just about to say how I was going to give you all the 150 gold pieces that you aren't owed yet, and let you use that for research and development, like you said. And I recognize there are more goblins than I had originally thought there might be from when this whole venture started out, but I can offer more gold for removing the threat in its entirety. However, that gold would only be if you remove the threat in its entirety. Outside of that, I can pay some expenses, but you'll have to run those by me one by one. After all, good financial policy is the backbone of every small town.
Hmm.
And that is something you can take to the polls. As he says that last bit a little too loud. Loud enough that it might be hearable outside, say, the window.
That's
I'm gonna take a step forward, and as I do, doors closed. Yeah.
No, doors open.
Oh, this is
Don't-
the guards.
Don't get
see us.
physical. I'm gonna
The guards see us.
reach out to Kai, to Thelios, and be like, hey, let's keep this.
No.
Keep this
Can the
going.
guards see us from where they're standing? Are they watching us?
No, they're outside the door and facing away, but they can hear fairly well anything above a whisper.
I'm going to briefly shape change, straight into the mayor's form, and I could say, "Yeah, well, we could take this to the polls, couldn't we?" In his voice, and then I'm going to shape change back into my normal form.
His face goes very still and goes, yes, I see you have made your point. In that case, and he opens a drawer in his desk and pulls out a bag of gold. And he goes, here is the 150 gold that we had agreed upon, and you can use it for research and development, and come to me if and when more expenses come up.
all right.
Thank you.
And will that be all?
I'm going
Yeah.
to turn to the other party members and say,
Uh,
I think so.
No, there'd be another possibility as well, which is to seek assistance from the elves. I'm sure they don't get along with the goblins.
Mhm. Yes,
Do you have contacts or contacts
absolutely.
that have contacts with the elves that could reach out for assistance?
Mm-hmm. We
I'm sure that would look great.
we maintain a written correspondence with the elves. They tend to send their mail by bird, and I can send letters back. I'm not expecting anything for another 2 or 3 days, but I can write them as soon as their avian messenger gets here.
I think it would be best to reach out to them with some of this information and see what aid they might be able to render.
Mm-hmm. You'll have to give me at least a 10-day.
Okay.
A 10-day for what?
Well, for the letters to come and go back to the elves and get a response.
Okay. Yeah, I mean that's fair.
That gives us time to find out how much this poison plan might cost and how viable it is.
What are your feelings on this poison plan, Mr. Mayor?
Well,
Uh-oh.
and he kind of eyeballs the door a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't hear anything you just said.
No, yeah, I didn't really say all that much.
Okay, good.
Yep. He eyeballs the door and lowers his voice just a little bit. He goes, look, this goblin problem could ruin me next year at the polls, and frankly, it's a danger to our town. I don't want to cause a panic. The last thing we need is people worrying and leaving the town and taking their tax money and economic spending with them. So whatever means you need to employ to take care of this little problem is fine by me.
Okay.
That said, if we do go this way, I do expect some professional discretion.
Okay.
Right, Athelios can't talk.
Well, is there anything wrong with poisoning goblins? Like, do we
Well-
really need to be discreet about this?
I mean, think of the last town you were in. How would you feel if their mayor had knowingly approved a plan to poison the entirety of a 250-person village nearby, no matter how poor a neighbor that village was? It wouldn't
Isn't
exactly
it the
play
same
well.
as disposing of, I don't know, locusts?
Goblins
Sure,
That's
aren't,
what
but-
these bandits
Whoa.
are.
goblins aren't
Whoa.
people like you and I.
Whoa. They call them locusts.
Well, okay, so like
Are they not?
goblins are straight up evil creatures, correct?
Yeah.
They are still sentient.
No, I'm asking like
Zoo?
in the world of
Yeah.
D&D, like,
They're chaotic evil.
yeah, like
Yeah,
they're straight up evil creatures, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, but the
This isn't even like a moral question here. This is like
people,
That's kind of what I'm getting at. Is like there's like if you ever wanted a bad guy, goblins are bad guys.
Yeah, it's just I think the question is, what he's saying is that it's more around like knowing that we would stoop to these kinds of war tactics. If there's somebody that like somebody may assume that we will use this if we don't agree with you, right?
If you're a goblin, that might be true.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, but
what I will
also,
say
if you're in
is
the next city down the road. You know how terrifying that would be if they heard we slaughtered 200 goblins with the single wagon.
well, I don't think we're gonna accomplish that. We're gonna accomplish maybe taking out their, their chieftain and their
Yeah.
little lieutenants and stuff like that.
Yeah, and I will say that yes, goblins are chaotic evil in terms of like their general disposition, but plenty of humans are chaotic evil.
Sure, there's always one-offs too of good
Yeah.
goblins, but I mean,
So I mean, at
we
the
are
end
a
of the
product
day,
of
they
our
are
environment.
and they are still sentient with like the ability to speak and their own culture. Like in my mind, at least, I think goblins are like like property is much more communal than in most other sentient societies, so it's less stealing and more just like, if there's a ladle sitting there and you need a ladle, just because your neighbor used it yesterday doesn't mean you shouldn't use it. You have a need for it.
Yeah, but it's also for them. There's that, but there's also the fact that they will go out of their way to torture other people.
Yeah.
This is what I'm getting at. Like, are these like 5e book goblins? Because
Or
if it's
it's-
5e book goblins, they're evil little creatures.
Yeah, they're like they're like little imps, like demons,
Yeah.
essentially. Like it just depends on how, I guess, Jake, how you're writing them in your world, right?
Yeah, I would say that very few things are objectively evil, rather that things tend to have a different this sounds so wishy-washy. A different set of like moral guidelines and societal mores that they adhere to. So I would gently guide you away from goblins are the next best thing to the devil.
I'm not saying they're like a greater devil and they're gonna consume the world, but they would if they could. I mean, that's the 5e goblin. They will take and seize
Yeah.
whatever they
Yeah,
can.
but Jake
period.
is saying in his world, we shouldn't assume that they are all the next best thing to the devil.
Well,
In
that's
his
why
world, we should assume that they're
That's why we're asking that question.
largely
Yeah,
Mhm.
they're
they're
sentient
largely
largely
bad,
and are able to decide to become. You could have good goblins, but we are not. We're basically saying whoever dies dies.
Well,
The
I mean, look at it this way: whether it's blade or poison, I mean, it's more about the concern of what method are we using and how will that look,
Yeah,
and that's
because
fine. But they are a direct threat. They
Mhm.
will continue to grow and they will continue to expand their borders, and then they will reach our town, and then they will be a very large threat.
I am hearing discretion. Would be
I would
good.
also like to point out that we still have to help the Fey Dragons. And if we initiate this plan now, those Fey Dragons will 100% turn on us. And then we will also have to fight the Fey Dragons.
Wait, what do you mean?
Why would
That's
they
a
turn on us?
Why would they? Why would they
We
even
killed all the
know?
goblins.
We're gonna. So
We're
the
not-
goal with the apothecary is to figure out a way to make it look like the food just was bad, but not that we did it. I think that's what I.
And the idea is, I mean, it's not going to kill 250 goblins. We're not going to do that much. We're doing enough to kill their leadership. That itself will create a schism. I mean, think about it. Every single one of those goblins is going to want to try and fight to take control of their tribe, right?
Yeah, and at a
mean-
They are
minimum,
still like tribal creatures, right?
Mhm.
so
Although, like they still have the capacity to like set up shops, do some basic trading, do some basic like weapon crafting. They can cast magic.
Yeah, they just seemed confused on the idea of paying for things.
Mhm.
But as far as like, the reason I'm asking is because I think my understanding of a goblin is not aligning to what you have as a goblin in your campaign.
Mhm.
Yeah, and
Because to me, goblins are like straight up evil creatures. They're very tribal. It's like if you were to take out their leader, they would all like fight for the position of leader until like the strongest one got there, right?
Mhm.
Kind of
Yeah.
like
they'd be
Warhammer
like little
orcs,
factions.
sort of, like.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, and that's a good frame of reference there. Like the orcs are less likely to torture you, but equally as likely to rip out your teeth, not realizing that that is torture.
But in like Warhammer sense, like if I were playing like a human
Mhm.
in like a role playing setting, I guess like all orcs are bad.
Mhm. Yeah, and I guess the delineation that I want to draw is between like the locusts and like aggressive savage sentient. Yeah, the like don't get me wrong, they
There's
are.
genocide, and then there's dealing with a problem.
Yeah, I would ask that we just don't war crime a goblin.
Well, I'm
Well,
just.
I mean,
Are you going to?
unfortunately, we've already done that this campaign.
Well-
And it happened with a net full of goblins.
Okay, so Athelios and Zoo are going to head over and train the goblins on how to be good in society.
I'm down with that.
I'm
Is
just
that the
saying
plan?
we don't.
No, we're
No,
not. No,
look.
we're saying we just are discreet about the poison.
Yeah, just be discreet.
But not announced to everyone because that's what we're doing. But
And
we
it
do
cannot
need
be
the
the
mayor's.
cheese and wine that we already promised. The
Well, they're not going to eat
the
it.
Fey dragons.
The Fey dragons don't eat that.
I know, but like the goblins will turn on the Fey dragons if they think the food was the reason why.
We're not giving it to the Fey dragons. We're going to set a
That's
trap.
why I'm saying it cannot be the food and wine that we're going to give the Fey Dragons. It has to be a caravan.
Oh, that was never negotiated. We shut down. That negotiation failed.
They didn't want it anyway. Oh,
Yeah.
I see what you're saying.
I thought they were
Yeah.
going to.
They weren't
No.
going to eat it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were going to give it to the
the whole
goblins, and the
idea
goblins were going
of
to give us
trading.
gold.
But then the response was why when it can just be taken.
Yeah.
Well, and our response was because you want us as allies.
Anyway, I don't
Wasn't that
foresee
correct,
this.
Jake? Didn't we agree?
Yeah, those negotiations kind of fizzled,
Yeah.
I think.
They didn't see the point of what we were asking for. They're like, we're just going to take it because it's easier.
I mean, this is what we're setting out to do with this particular thing is to just sow dissent among them, right?
Mhm.
Dispose of their leadership, and then we can go in and clean up smaller chunks of those goblins, right? Different factions, deal with them, right? Whatever's left.
Is that a question for me?
No, I was just clarifying that idea with.
Yeah. I mean, that was my intent as well. Yeah.
Yep. Cool. Well, you may be getting some bills from us soon.
Fair enough. I'll yeah, please get the invoice first and run it by me before you spend anything more than say 10 or 15 gold.
Okay, we'll try.
And with that, he kind of gently guides you to the door, and you all find yourselves wandering back out to one of the main courtyards in town.
As we leave, I'm going to make note of what the guards look like and greet each one of them so I can hear their voices.
Yeah, they kind of give you a wave on the way past.
I love that you're playing a fighter, but you're playing him like an assassin rogue.
Well, I mean,
A little bit.
a little bit, but it was effective, was it not?
Also, after we leave, I'm gonna mention to Athelios that, I mean, what you basically just threatened the mayor was you were gonna murder him and take his place.
Oh,
No,
that's what he
no,
was
I just-
saying?
No,
There was some undertones there, yeah.
That was the takeaway.
Oh,
You
I
might not
thought.
have intended that, but
Oh, I thought he
Oh,
was
well,
saying that he was just
yeah, that
going
wasn't
to
what I intended.
say some
I
words in
was-
his body.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I meant.
Oh, I thought you were straight up like threatening to body snatch him.
yep, that is.
Well, my character is going to feel slightly bad about that, but
Oh, that's.
I'm going to
that's-
shrug my shoulders and say what's done is done.
Yeah, but I'd look out. I'm just saying I would.
That's not a good look, buddy.
It is not. I just threatened to be, political about things. You should I don't know, make your own food.
Yeah, now that poison's on the table.
Yeah, clearly he's down to poison people. So
Especially right after we talked about
Yeah.
poisoning goblins and leadership.
That's fine. I will make
I
my
just-
own food.
All I'm saying is just be careful.
And, yeah, so I guess the nearest apothecary.
Yeah, you all start heading across town. And you wander towards Madame Hattie's apothecary.
Oh, Madam Hattie, yeah.
And you open the door, and an herbaceous breeze hits your face. Every
Delicious.
smell that you can imagine from a plant is here, whether that be smoky dried peppers or just absolutely vile skunkweed. There are all sorts of things crushed into powders, made into poultices and tinctures. There's extracts, there's dried roots, there's bundles of dried plants, jars of seeds, all very meticulously organized, but in a little bit too small a space, such that even though you can clearly see what everything is and kind of where it logically should probably be, as much as you understand organizing systems of plants, it still feels very crowded in. And from the back, you hear, "Hello, dearies! I'll be with you in just a moment."
Please be murderous. Please be murderous. Please be murderous.
Oh, so is our tactic here to like ask her straight up, or should we like do this on the sidestep like what we're actually asking for?
I would also like to point out that was our interaction with the mayor. When I did that, it was in his voice and in his form, so the guards would never know that it was me that said anything. So he would have to convince somebody, one of our townsfolk, to kill me with no good evidence. As was where I was kind of like, even if he took it badly and wanted to take revenge on me, I did it in his form and his voice, and the guards couldn't see me change. So
When he talks,
when I talked, it was in his exact voice.
No, I got you. I'm talking about them making an enemy of the mayor. That's all.
Yeah, but I mean, a mayor can't just unilaterally decide to kill someone. Is where I'm coming from. So that's all I want to point out.
We just unilaterally decided to kill a bunch of people.
A whole tribe.
I don't know what you're talking about.
The mayor can't.
Well, he's holding a bunch of money,
he would have to
know where to source poison,
a rogue or a thief, an assassin to kill me. So,
well,
I can re-roll a rogue right now, and we can make it happen. I mean,
all right. Just for the sake of this world thing, then, since goblins aren't necessarily evil, right? What about bugbears and other monsters? Because technically they're goblinoids.
So it's things that are redeemable, right? Like things that you could potentially that are intelligent.
Bugbears are not aren't they just basic pure instinct?
No,
bugbears would.
They set ambushes.
Mm-hmm.
They're very hyena. Yeah. Ambush. Vulturish.
Yeah, I'll say. I mean, they're in a similar vein as goblins and orcs in terms of there is the possibility for negotiation and heinous acts towards them.
And then I just want to take that step a little bit further. What about illithids?
Yeah, similar boat. They would probably be closer to abject evil, just because their sense of normalcy is so wildly different than most average humanoids.
Gotcha.
Yeah, because to my mind, there's not a lot of rabid, slobbering evil out there. Most of the time, it's just people different or wildly different priorities, acting in their own best interest.
Okay. In that case, Zoo, it might be better if we sidestep what we're doing, and maybe approach it as we need to dispose of large dens of some sort of monster or monstrosity that may or may not be in the area without risking life and limb.
Okay. I think I have some questions I could ask.
Is there any creature like that exists in our area that we would know about, that we could be like, yeah, we're just, disposing of a den of, demon dogs, right?
Yeah, this region is magically active enough, has enough just generally weird shit or, kind of frontier business that if you came in and said, hey, I need enough poison to kill like 10 owlbear equivalents or whatever. That would be a notably odd, but not
Right, but
unrealistic ask.
the poison actually has to be one that, wouldn't necessarily be detectable immediately on a cursory thing, something that, they couldn't taste, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's how I would approach it, Zoo. That we're here to dispose of an actual, like, major threat with minimal loss.
Okay.
And from around the corner in the back room toddles a very, very old gnome.
Oh.
And she comes up all of 2.5 feet. And she walks up what you originally thought to be kind of like a step stool, turns out to be a surprisingly intricately carved wooden set of stairs behind the counter so that she can speak with you at normal eye level-ish. And as she gets up there, you see she's just a really tiny old gnome lady. She's wearing really comfortable looking gardening clothes, tons of dirt under her fingernails, wears like a carpenter's belt, but full of like pruning equipment, larger and smaller snips for plants, several tiny saws, has a mortar and pestle in like a hip pocket that seems to be specialty designed for it. Absolutely kitted out to be an apothecary. And she goes, "Oh, hello there. What can I help you all with today?"
Have we met before with this gnome? Is there any kind of rapport?
I would say, yeah, you've probably seen her around town.
Okay.
I'll leave it up to you guys if any of y'all have been particularly active in the apothecary circles.
Okay.
That's a lot of plant stuff. If anyone, it'd be Zoo, I think.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of how to approach this. Well, so we recently became rangers, right? And so we've just been out and about, been tasked with a few missions here in the area, and
you grew up so fast.
Oh, I know.
I've heard you all been doing a great job.
Oh yeah, we try. Thank you, but we're doing our best. We come across a really hard mission here, and it's just a little bit too big for us to tackle our own. We're looking for a little maybe assistance.
You're very kind to ask, but my fighting days are well behind me.
Oh, it's more of the medicinal method. We came across a den of various creatures, hyenas, and for some reason there was some owl bears. It's like 3 owl bears and 20 hyenas or something like that we were able to determine with the tracking. And
I haven't heard of those living together before. That's
it's a weird one. It's a lot. It's quite the spread, and we're going to take him head on, but there's only 4 of us in this kind of a trial of ours, and we're trying to do some indirect routes to this. See if there's a way to maybe poison them without them able to smell it, right? That's the big one, because we want them to not know that it's foul food or like rotten, because they probably want to eat it or be less likely to eat it. But a way to just like, weaken them, even kill them would be great. And even if it only took out the owlbears.
How fast do you want them to die, sweetie?
Oh, yeah, speed. Yeah, if it could be like, man, it would have to be longer than 5 minutes, because they may like first the owlbears would eat it, and then the hyenas would kind of like come and take seconds. But to see the owlbears die too quick, they may not eat it. So let's say like a 15-minute reaction time.
So slow release and then quick acting.
Yeah, quick acting after that 15 minutes, I think would be good.
Can there be any blood?
Blood on no blood.
And you can kind of see her like ticking things off on her fingers, and,
Yeah.
like absentmindedly checking a book. And she goes, "Well,
Maybe internal bleeding would be fine, but nothing like profusely coming from the orifices. So our part of our trial is that we want to salvage like their hides and their head, and as like trophies, right? So we need them to look as natural as possible, try to preserve those elements of the creature. The innards are it's fine if they're a little bit scrambled, but yeah.
well, all the poisons I have right now will have them looking like strawberry tarts being smashed by a 3-year-old. But it actually is just the season for a couple particularly nasty brews. Unfortunately, I do not have most of the herbs we need anymore. We also use this kind of thing for rat traps and rat poison, and you heard about the rats down southeast of town, right?
Yeah, that was you.
Well, it sure wasn't the rats, sweetie.
Oh.
Well, here's the deal. There is a whole bunch of herbs I'm gonna need in order to make you up a big batch of this. About how many pounds worth of critter do you need to kill?
Oh, all right. I'd say 10,000.
Whoa.
Her eyebrows kind of shoot up and go,
Holy fuck.
that is a lot of owlbear.
Well, it's and the hyenas. Maybe I'm bad at math though. All right.
1,000 pounds.
Okay, we're not.
Look,
Can we just? Could you
what
pause
my
for a
friend
second
is
and
trying to
talk
say
math?
here.
I think it's a lot.
He's really bad with math and really bad with estimations.
Oh my!
I have
goodness.
20
Oh, I meant.
intelligence.
Sorry, I
and
meant.
just
I meant
correct
1,000. I'm like 1,000. I'm sorry, I carried the zero.
She goes, well,
No,
Roughly
10,000.
1,000.
It's 10,000.
No. Roughly 1,000 pounds.
she goes, your average owlbear is about 500 to
Yeah, so
800 depending on the season.
Oh, so it's over 1,000 then, right? It's 800 and 800 is 1,200.
Well, you said
And-
3 owlbears and how many hyenas?
20?
Well, your average hyena is gonna be 100 pounds, depending on the size and age.
Mm-hmm. That sounds right.
So you're probably looking at
like 5,000 pounds.
all right, 5,000 pounds it is. Well, I'm gonna need at least at least 50 pounds of raw herbs in order to make that much poison.
Okay.
I'll make you a list and do some little diagrams so you can find them out in the woods for me. You're gonna need to go southeast of town and avoid the giant heaps of rats. But down that way there's a couple groves that tend to have the plants I need. And bring those back for me. Should be able to process those into pretty good poison for you.
And before we get too far, how much is going to run us?
Oh, well, I'd say, well, I can do you a favor. I can do this for 100 gold.
Okay. And is that up front or after we get the herbs?
Oh, after it'd be fine.
Okay, could I get a write out for that, like an invoice of sorts?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Awesome.
And she starts very carefully hand drawing an invoice. Making, like, a little table on it.
Maybe 4 potions of healing too. Just put that on there too.
Oh, I wouldn't know anything about the potions of healing. That's more of the cleric's responsibility up the way.
Oh.
I provide some of the ingredients for it. Don't you fret. But
what else do you sell here?
oh, lots of things.
Oh.
Herbal remedies made of herbs for all kinds of things. Poisons, other herbal remedies,
Okay.
seasonings.
Oh, seasonings.
A lot of people
yeah.
don't realize how good my seasoning selection is.
Yeah, I would like a large selection of seasonings too.
Oh. All right. How much are you willing to pay?
50 sounds reasonable. $50 of seasonings.
50 gold. 50 gold.
Just add that onto the end and put yeah.
Who's gonna carry 50 gold worth of seasonings?
I don't know if you're aware, but seasonings and spices and stuff like that in those kind of time periods would be very expensive for small.
So it's not that much, but just give me some seasonings on there, and you can put that.
Okay.
You know.
He's gonna be like, oh, I have 200 pounds.
Yeah.
Worth for 50
anybody
gold.
else? Anybody else have any remedies that they want on here?
Oh my god!
I think we've got all the remedies we need.
All right, and that's the invoice. Thank you. It's 150.
Yeah, and you get
While we're down there, I mean, are there any other valuable herbs we should keep an eye out? Maybe we could barter some of those to bring the bill down on our part. But anything we should look out for? See if we can find while we're looking for these other herbs.
Oh, sure. Yeah, I can make you a big old list. Well, and for what it's worth, I am including a lot of that as overage to bring the price down. I know you adventuring types can find quite a bit when I set you out in the right direction, so that's actually about twice as much plant matter as I need. But I need to stock back up and need to process it all for you, so
holy crap! You also need 10,000 pounds of poison.
Well, for the upcoming year,
twice the amount.
Do you know how many rats this town poisons every year?
Oh my god,
that's a horrifying number.
It's pretty bad. All right. Well, yeah, cool.
Especially once they get into the berries.
Mm-hmm. Problem is, cats keep dying. Couldn't tell you why.
Okay.
Are they eating the poisoned rats?
Oh. I'm going to have to ask you all to leave because I have a couple important experiments to run.
Okay. That sounds good.
Well, she's gonna... I think to myself, well, she's off to kill some cats.
Well, I think we have an invoice to drop off at the mayor's office.
Yeah, let's see how much money we can get out of him, I guess.
Yep, you zippity zoop back to mayor's office.
On the way, I'm gonna be like, wonder what we could get away with. What else could we buy?
Hey, Athelius, you might want to apologize to the mayor. Maybe subtly apologize. Maybe explain that you didn't mean to threaten his life. Just nip that right in the bud.
Mr. Mayor?
Yeah, you zip on back, and his door is closed this time. And the guards out front go, "You're gonna have to wait a minute. There's seats over there."
Oh, of course.
Who's in there with him?
That's none of your business.
Maybe I know.
Oh,
can I read their,
That's who's gonna deal with Athelios.
Can I read their body expressions to see if they are hostile towards me?
Yeah, make an insight check.
I do not that.
Gonna have to wait a minute and a half for his roll to actually complete.
Wait, I had it on my phone.
I don't understand how that's possible on the computer.
Insight. Oh no, 7. Supposed to be passively good at reading people.
These two guards seem significantly more on edge than they were the last time you were here, like an hour, maybe 2 hours ago.
Okay.
Now, as to who that's directed towards, hard to say.
I guess we'll just have to see. We'll take a seat.
Does the seat have the?
Well, I'll take a seat.
Does the seat have a view of the door?
Mhm.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, it's just a little waiting room outside the mayor's office.
I'll take a seat too.
So you all are sitting there waiting, and after about another 10, 15 minutes, a very large man walks out of the mayor's office. He is covered in scars.
You are screwed, Athelios.
He looks like one of the mercenaries that you see come through town every year or two. You vaguely recognize him, not enough to remember his name, but you've probably seen him at the tavern a year back, 2 years back.
Okay.
Okay.
I would like to approach him.
Mm-hmm. Yep, you walk on up.
Hello. I am the local walking newspaper turtle guy. I would love to interview you at some point, if you would be down for that. You got any good stories to tell?
I have lots. You can buy me beer and listen to my stories.
Oh, yeah.
I'll see you
Sounds
tonight
great.
at the bar.
Yeah. Sounds good.
Can I do a history check to see if I can recall anything of note of this man?
Sure.
I
got a 21.
Yeah.
Yeah, this guy looks like either an extremely unlucky fighter or an extremely experienced fighter. Definitely someone who has seen more than his fair share of blood in combat. He's dressed in like a lot of traveling leathers that kind of have a second use as armor. And he is walking around armed, all of which point to him being a traveling mercenary. So he very likely works in a similar line of work as adventurers, but a little bit more focused on the fighting side rather than the discovery magic, wandering about side.
And just that was a history check, by the way.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, you. But you have seen him around town.
Yep.
Yeah.
So historically, he's not relevant.
Yeah, no, he is not made it into any history books that you've read
Yet.
He's about to be.
If he stops by the library, he too.
Oh, we're about to get some stuff out of him tonight. Time to document. All right. So,
Oh, Mr. Mayor.
And Athelios, will you make a perception check for me?
Yes, I will make a perception check. Let me go back to my phone real quick. 10.
All right, he walks out of the room.
Do we notice anything?
What are your passive perceptions?
13.
13?
You all see his eyes linger on Athelios just a fraction of a second too long.
Okay.
You gonna die.
My passive insight is 16, if that matters in this case.
In this case, active overrides passive.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, you all go into the office? Question mark?
Yeah. Well, I go in.
Exclamation point. Yeah, you all zip into the office. And the mayor goes, "Oh, back so soon."
Yeah, we got a bill. We found out how much it's going to be to get the stuff from the alchemist herbalist person.
Here it is.
Yes,
this seems to be in order. What's this line item for 50 gold pieces worth of herbs and spices?
We gotta
yeah.
make it taste good to the goblins.
Yeah, she said that we needed that to disguise the poison.
Ooh, fantastic!
I'm gonna pipe up. Listen, Mayor. We're I don't want to lie to you here. We need supplies for our foray because, you know, we need to cook food for ourselves. Now, normally I don't like killing good people, and you seem like a good person, and I comes to my attention.
Is this an apology?
What are you doing?
Let me finish my sentence. I'm finishing my sentence.
There's going to be an apology in
Normally,
there.
I wouldn't just go around threatening bears.
I don't. I am a good person, and I don't I don't I don't kill good people, and you are a good person. What I was merely insinuating is word could be spread around town that maybe you're not the kind of person that should be leading the town. That's all I really meant to say.
Oh, I see. You wanted to clarify you were threatening my career and
Not your
what I
life,
do
yes.
every single day that brings me joy and personal accomplishment. You're
Yeah,
threatening
but
that instead of my life.
yes, it could have been. I mean, if you don't want your life,
Mayor, I'm gonna.
All right. I think
there's
the
a lot
mayor-
going
Okay,
on
listen,
here.
I think there's a misunderstanding here.
There's a
The mayor
keys.
walks around from his desk and stands right in front of you and puts a surprisingly large hand on your shoulder and goes, "I understand," and then takes his hand off of you and walks behind you to go pour himself a drink in the other corner of his office.
All right, so this invoice. Are we good?
Look, Mayor, I
Just-
apologize for my idiot friend, but he's an idiot. Okay, I shouldn't say he's an idiot. He's socially awkward. He doesn't really pick up on subtleties and things that you and I would pick up
He's
on.
been in
so
the woods
easily.
a long time. Alright?
He finishes pouring his drink and he turns around and kind of leans up against his little bar that he's got there and he goes, "Oh, you absolutely could have fooled me that he doesn't understand subtlety." And Athelios gives you a very fast wink.
I would like to intercept said wink.
Whoa!
thank you, man.
He casts
playing
wink.
All I
He
see
casts
is this
counterspell.
turtle like taking a leap across the room.
He goes, "So, here's the thing.
Uh-huh.
Well, I understand the need to make things taste good enough for the poison. You'll have to do it for cheaper than 50 gold pieces."
Well, it's not possible.
What if I could persuade, without threatening,
Oh my god.
the apothecary to give us a lower price?
All right.
Why would you even bring up without threatening? Why is this a needed thing for a normal haggling
All
interaction?
right. What about a tax write-off? So you're not paying right now, but you pay us later. So it's not 50 gold for the seasoning, but it is a $400 deductible on our taxes. Not deductible, but you know what I'm saying. Tax words. Like
Tax words.
make it make it happen in the taxes.
The linguist says.
I'm not a tax turtle.
I hope you use TurboTax, Russell. 'Cause that's rough.
He goes, "Well, I'll tell you what. I won't charge any town sales tax on any of the things that you need to get for this particular endeavor.
All right. How about
Also,
what?
did you say just a minute ago that you could still negotiate the price lower? In that case,
Tell you
please go do so and then
stop.
bring me the the invoice. Once
I already
you have the price as low
negotiated.
as it goes.
Oh man.
You didn't
Mayor.
try very hard.
Oh my.
Mayor. What we're going to
we'll
do
try.
is we're also going to try and bring the price down by subsidizing with other herbs. So we'll get a final price at the end. That's
That-
lower.
Sounds like a perfect idea. If you don't mind, if you could bring me all of the invoices at one time, and that way I can look them over before doling out the money.
Oh man. All right. More paper. Got it.
For a librarian, you really don't like paper.
Not with numbers on them. It's stupid.
I feel like
Doesn't
we're
make
gonna
any
have
sense.
to be saying a lot of Athelios, stop talking.
You've undone all the work.
I didn't mean to threaten the apothecary. I didn't mean to threaten the orphan. I just wanted to get a better discount on the newspaper he was selling.
I just wanted them to know that I am powerful. Just kidding. All right. Well,
I guess we can go try to haggle with the apothecary again.
Was there anything else you all needed?
yeah. So the apothecary, this was trying to hide up. So part of that, the seasoning was trying to hide the fact that we're shopping for just poison. You know, or just they want to make it look like they were shopping for other stuff. So this is trying to hide that, to hide your name. So I think that this would behoove you to pay for this, just so you can write it off as like that. The reason you paid us is to deal with a rat problem at the bakery.
Be considered campaign expenses.
And so it'd be able to, hide the fact that you just had an invoice for poison, 5,000 pounds of poison.
Are you trying to convince him?
Yeah, that's his persuasion. I'm trying to be reasonable here. I'm not trying to intimidate him. I'm saying that this is like, we need to buy more than just a shit ton of poison.
I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
Leave the cover stories to me, because I don't think 100 gold worth of poison just for killing rats in a bakery is the bulletproof. No, not bulletproof. Arrow-proof story that you think it may be.
Yeah, I'm just throwing it out there.
Unless there's a
ideas.
much bigger rat problem in the bakery that I don't know about. In which case, is there a problem with rats in the bakery?
No, there's a
Apparently
problem with the rats down south though.
apothecary-
Oh yeah, I have a bookkeeping question. If I'm if I'm proficient in a skill such as perception, do I throw with advantage?
No.
No, you add your proficiency bonus.
Yeah, every level, well, not every level, your proficiency bonus goes up as you level up, right? So like level 1, you might have a proficiency bonus of 2, and then it might go up at like level 5 to 3, right? And that's what those little proficiency bonuses are.
And what's unique about proficiency is that it goes up regardless of which class you took your level in, which is one of the only things that behaves that way. But worth knowing,
Right, because it's
especially
based
for
off
multi-class.
your level, not your class level.
Okay.
All right, fair enough on the cover story. But if you ever need a cover story writer, got it.
I'll consider you as an intern.
All right,
Oh, you just got a job.
I did. We'll see. Got a job offer.
I said I would consider him
I'm considering you.
As an intern. You just offered
Yeah.
him.
if I need a cover story writer, which, well, I write my own biz.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll see what happens. I'll consider you too as a boss, but we'll see.
I wish you the best of luck. Is there anything else I can help you all
I
with?
don't think these jobs are landing the way you're thinking they're landing.
No, that's it. We'll come back with a updated invoice. Maybe bigger, maybe smaller. Who knows?
And yeah, you all move along. Are there any other supplies you all want to start looking at getting?
Yeah, we need a whole wagon. We need 3 horses.
Oh god, this is gonna get expensive.
Yeah, you didn't want the
Why not?
seasoning. Why not
Why
4?
not 2?
Oh, yeah, right. We
Why
could
not
go with
4?
2.
Why-
You know, one's for the.
I mean,
leader.
we're not pulling an entire caravan worth of wagons with, we're just gonna do a wagon, right?
Yeah, I just wanted. I guess the other question: are we just sending it with the caravan, or are we escorting that?
Oh, we are 100% escorting.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it'd be bad if somebody got into it.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we need to source a caravan then.
Also, going forward, I think we need to set some ground rules. No threatening bodily harm for the lives of our townspeople. Let's not set a precedent of being thugs towards our the town. Just putting that out there.
Do I already have the spices in my pocket, or am I getting those when I come back with the herbs?
Yeah, you'll get that later.
Okay.
You just got the invoice.
Yeah. I was just making sure
Look
that.
here, Colonel Sanders. You gotta pay for your goods.
Listen, these are treats for you. It says I need to have supplies.
No,
some
he
yummy
doesn't
treats.
have to pay for them because tax words.
Tax words. Can't be good at
yes,
everything as a
words
bard, you
such
know.
as embezzlement,
Yes.
right?
I'm not
That's
doing
already
anything.
happened
I'm
once.
not doing anything wrong. What are you talking about?
I can't believe you just
like-
said tax word.
I realized that the bard would not give a shit. He doesn't like numbers. Whatever.
Okay, Volo.
All right. So, are there any other specialty items that y'all want outside of standard
Does
things you can
our
find?
town contain an amulet against detection and location?
No.
Oh, and we definitely couldn't afford that right
Yeah.
now.
Also, you
I
can't.
was- True.
And no,
yeah.
you cannot threaten bodily harm in order to get it.
Special.
Well, you can, but it might not.
No special items for me.
I am going to pull my party off to the side to a location where we cannot be seen, and I'm going to change into...
I don't like where this is going.
Eat this.
I'm going to change my
is-
form.
Way too stabby recently.
I'm going to change my form into
The big mercenary we
a
just saw.
nondescript character from the town. Or no. From one of the caravans that has passed through.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, so
So they
random
can
person from your past.
Yep, random person from my past.
All right.
So they know what I look like, so they still know that I'm Athelios.
And remind me, do your clothes change as well?
My clothes do not change, no.
Sweet.
So in the process, I'm going to quickly derobe and change.
Oh,
In
no.
front of us? Are you kidding me?
I do not swing both ways here.
I encourage
You
this
won't get-
bravery, but this is a bit much, Athelios.
I'm facing away from you, mind you.
Well, okay,
I'm
we're
gonna
staring at your
$20
backside.
gold.
Where Athelios does and all of a sudden somebody doesn't look like Athelios is standing there wearing Athelios's clothes, which he begins to frantically take off.
Yeah. I'm
No,
just
no,
imagining
no.
him tugging at our shirt, just let's go over to this alley, and then he just does this, and it's like, dude.
Yeah, you didn't preface this at all.
You're like,
There's no explanation.
come over here.
As I'm doing, as
A
I
dark
switching
alleyway
clothes-
magic Mike. Like,
as I'm switching clothes, I'm going to say, just in case that big guy is going to try to kill me tonight.
Oh, why would he kill me? He
yes,
seems like a cool dude.
I mean, okay, first of all, let's put it this way. He already knows that you can shapeshift. I mean, you showed that to the
But
man.
he doesn't know who
So,
I
if
shapeshifted
you-
into.
Yeah, but if you are with us, and they go 1Z, 2Z, 3Z, Athelios.
Oh, I don't have to be sitting with you at the bar.
Okay.
He could be watching us right now.
My question is he going to jump me when I'm with you, or is he going to try to jump me when I'm alone?
I don't know.
Probably when you're alone.
He looks like a
Yeah.
big burly fella.
But
Find out
then
tonight from his stories.
only if he knows it's you. I mean, if you're just someone else, I mean, he's just gonna be looking for you, and he's not gonna jump you when you're alone
Wait,
in other clothes, looking like someone else.
why would he jump you?
Exactly.
I don't get it. Why would he jump you?
That
It's okay,
He's in
Zoo.
character. He's in
It's
character.
okay, Zoo.
I
just-
understand.
I'm looking at him and I'm just absolutely dumbfounded. I'm like,
Oh,
Do you not
Athelius,
hear-
you feel dumbfounded?
yeah,
Yeah, well, I don't know if you should be looking that way at him.
I'm
When we had
what?
to explain your behavior to you.
I don't get it. He said he was just saying he was going to tell us stories tonight. I don't.
Don't worry about it. And don't tell anybody I'm Athelius.
Okay, Athelius.
Slap him on the back of the head gently.
Some new art from this
Uh,
show. Dragons wiped it all off.
And I think that is about what we're going to wrap for tonight, unless there's anything else big y'all want to do to prepare.
No, I mean,
Prepare for our herb infusion.
probably.
Sweet.
No, I think, yeah, we just need to get like we have the mission to go get the herbs, but we'll also have to get invoices for like a caravan or whatever.
Mhm. And let's handle that off screen.
Yeah.
I could
That's
make
fine.
an adventure out of getting herbs, but I am more interested in
Okay.
Where we go from
pursuing the
there.
main plot.
Yeah.
So, in terms of getting other supplies, I'm just going to say standard prices apply from Player's Handbook from the
So 20,000
pricing
gold
guidelines.
for the
But what
amulet.
if Zoo tax words them?
Well, in that case,
Double the price.
What if when we get to level 5 and I become proficient in sleight of hand and
Tax
stealth,
oh wait,
I tax worded into my pocket as we walk.
Alrighty. Well,
Yeah.
thanks for running it, Jake.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
The,
thank you everyone for delaying for a couple hours.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Thank you for not murdering the mayor.
Also, I just wanted to mention another keeping type of deal. We are coming up into the holiday season, and there's a lot of holidays, and my family tends to do holiday stuff on Sundays.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't want to have to say I can't be there every week. Or not every week, but like I feel bad. Is
Just,
there another time or day that works for everyone, especially near Christmas?
I'm pretty flexible as long as we plan it out like a day or two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's gonna be like a day for Thanksgiving and a day for Christmas where like it's gonna be non-negotiable. But
Right.
I have
Same
I
thing
have
here. 2
families for both of those things. So
way to
And,
rub it in.
Okay.
I also will. I'm sure I will have to travel for work on a weekend at some point, but I mean, I should be available Sundays no matter what. So
Well,
Should we? What if we do a general vibe towards Thursdays through the holidays?
Yeah.
How would that work for everybody? And then we can play them by ear as needed for work schedules.
What time on the Thursdays? Thursdays are fine. It's just.
What time did we play last Thursday?
7:00.
Okay.
7? Yeah, y'all want to do 7 again?
7 to 10, or 7 to what would it be? 7 to 9.
Yeah, 7 to 9, 7 to 10, depends on the session.
Yeah, I could do that.
I could do that.
I think that would work.
We'll play League at that time anyway.
True.
Well, I mean, we'll play League anyways after
Yeah,
that. so-
after it.
And if push comes to shove, we can roleplay Athelios just fine. We
Yeah, we
just
can.
threaten everybody.
Don't make me turn
Listen,
into
that's
you.
just one persona, okay? I have multiple personas. See?
Whoa. What is it like
That's
day of
the-
the week and different person takes
Just-
over
yeah,
who's running
One
fast?
facet of Athelios.
It
The other
actually
facet is he
can
doesn't
be.
trust his teammates at all.
I'm just imagining the movie Split, but he actually changes how he looks.
It actually, like, if you look at the description of a changeling, yeah, they can actually completely switch personas for each occasion.
I'll just say his tax words.
And they can pass down personas from one changeling to the next.
That's horrifying.
Yeah,
Oh,
I know.
good.
So who are
I
you?
know.
I don't know.
I'm Athelios.
I have a name. That's about it.
Do you guys want to take like a 5 and then do, or do you just
Yeah.
want to do a league now?
I need to take a break. Like five.
Yeah, I
10.
need to take a break.
Okay, 5 and then league.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
Okay.
All right.
Later.
Have a good night.